Welcome back, everyone. Big news today. They are looking at completely redoing construction in 2023. Now, understand everything that I'm about to read is up for discussion. I will post the discussion thread down in the description. So just know that Rel said this should all be started out as a conversation starter. So let's get started. Hey there, folks. In this letter, we'll be sharing our intentions for the first major update of 2023, a construction system overhaul. One of our goals for this year is to be more transparent with content we're excited about, which includes letting you know our plans further in advance, showing off more work-in-progress material, encouraging more feature testing on the public test server, and engaging in more discussion with you all when possible. So to start this thing off, construction, what it does well, and what needs work. Since its introduction in 2016, the construction system has been leveraged as a way to fill in the in-between spaces of a continent by providing a low-intensity form of gameplay that can be done off the front lines. By giving players a variety of pieces and control over a base's layout, each construction fight will be a little bit different. Now, this increases the diversity of play, adds eccentric progressions for builders in the form of acquired map knowledge and the perfecting of base layouts, and has loads of potential for team play due to the nature of the system. Now, that said, construction is difficult to get into. Can be borderline tedious to participate in as a defender, frustrating to fight against as an attacker, and frequently creates well-developed back-and-forth fights, and only recently, with the increase in open field capture points and a map to support it, was even made capable of adding value to the most common form of map-based play, capturing and defending bases. So how do we tap the potentially good of this almost 7-year-old system? So let's look at the two main goals here. Allow builders to develop bases that non-builders enjoy fighting at, and reduce barrier to entry for players looking to engage with the system. Now, he went on to say, if we nail this first one, everything else kind of falls into place. But here are the focus areas we're planning to address. Now, the first one is lattice-based construction outpost. One of the more game-changing features we like to deliver is the conversion of vehicle capture points found at a lattice-based construction outpost into slowly but infinitely refilling faction-controlled cordium silos. Now, these special silos will double as the capture point of a base, in the heart of one. No longer will you arrive at an open field capture point with nothing to do. By adding a silo right to the capture point, there should almost always be a base to fight against, and the ability to construct one without all the initial friction of cordium runs and setup. When the base is captured by the opposing faction, all of the resources in range of the silo will flip to the capturer's faction, meaning that it may sometimes be better to leave structures standing instead of knocking them over. So let's say TR is rolling up on Tap Way Station, puts down one of these faction silos, builds on Tap Way Station, TR controls the point, they have their special silo down, NC comes and takes that point away from TR. Everything that TR has just built, bunkers, walls, and things of that sort, will now switch over to NC. Like he said, when the base is captured by the opposing faction, all of the resources in range of the silo will flip to the capturer's faction, meaning that it may sometimes be better to leave structures standing when you're attacking it, because if you flip the point, all those things that you're just attacking and destroying now become yours. So let's get to the next one, combat in and around a base. In general, we'd like more construction objects with interiors that can be used as combat spaces. Now, Lore Master has made a lot of these mock-ups, which I'm going to go ahead and show you, these different mock-ups. But as you can see, it's not just a place to put your cordium in, but structures inside. As Rel was saying, interior, you can move around inside the structure. For example, the Asylum spawn tube might be converted to a rebirth center, and the orbital strike uplink might be incorporated into a larger structure. New structures would be added that serve other niches as well. For example, a command center might have a spawn room, vehicle bay, and equipment terminal incorporated within it, but also require a larger, flatter area to place. So, not going to be happening on Hassan. I'm kidding. Going the other direction, we'd also like to add more small-scale construction objects that provide cover while traversing a base. Objects like tunnels, awnings, a tree stand-like platforms for infantry. I think that's a great idea to add those little smaller pieces. I would love that. Now here's the big one a lot of people are talking about, module rework. Cordium no longer passively drains based on the modules you have scattered around the base. The modules will not eat cordium. Instead, we're revamping modules to move towards an active form of base upkeep. In this update version, modules are pulled from the silo, so you run up to the silo, and placed into a socket of a structure. The module then provides a benefit to the structure depending on the type of module slotted in, and it will stay powered until the module runs dry. After that, a new module will need to be inserted. So you have a bunker that might have 2 module sockets, so you run over to your silo, you pull a repair module and a durability module. You go and you socket those 2 into your bunker. Now, a repair module might increase the maximum health of the structure and passively heal it over time while lasting for 20 minutes. A durability module may just increase the maximum health by a greater amount and last for the same length of time, so they're both lasting 20 minutes. A heavy repair module may not last for a much shorter duration, but have a greater impact. We refer to these modules as high pressure, and they're meant to be inserted when combat heats up and the base needs additional support. So you may have your durability module and your repair module in there, but the base starts getting attacked, right? So you have to run back, you and your buddy run back to the silo. You're gonna grab 2 of those heavy repair modules and pop those suckers into the bunker. So now it's not gonna, they're gonna be 5-10 minutes instead of the 20 minutes, but they're gonna be a higher tier of module to really, push that support when you're getting attacked. Now, between these changes, players will be given an active role in maintaining the health of a base by slotting in new modules when needed. So you're going to be running around slotting in these modules when the timer runs out. Newly formed bases won't be so difficult to get going on the account of the removal of Cordium Drain, and a drain on Cordium will only need to take place when a base is in a combat area. So you won't need to keep doing Cordium runs just to maintain bases that aren't yet under attack. Now, on the flip side of this, attacking individual structures can now also be done with the help of modules. If an enemy breaches the interior of a structure, they can destroy any socketed modules within the object and replace them with a Cordium Bomb. So this is their revamped Cordium Bomb that they're talking about. So the Cordium Bomb will no longer be able to be placed out in the open just wherever you want it, and it will instead act like a module that attackers have access to. Still held in the tactical slot, a Cordium Bomb must be defended until it explodes, dealing heavy damage to the structure it's housed within. So you might take out a gate shield, run up to the bunker, slot in a Cordium Bomb, and have to wait for the Cordium Bomb to go off. Now, I don't know how long they're going to make it. They make it like a minute, if they make it 20-30 seconds, if they don't even change the timer that it currently is, you got to sit there until until it pops. If you can put multiple Cordium Bombs in a structure, if they have multiple sockets, I'm sure that you could do that, but this is all of this stuff is kind of up in the air right now. Rel's looking for community feedback to, this whole discussion here. The next up is finding the fun and attacking construction. The flow of a construction base is a bit different than a designer built one because of the design intent. A defender attempts to build the most impenetrable base they can, either to protect a capture point or to create an impassable object. The goal of the attacker is to stop the enemy from spawning there or to get through the obstacle. This methodology is more similar to a rush game mode than a control one. Control is a tug of war, whereas rush is a one-and-done attrition-based objective. Construction operates pretty similar. Once the heart of the base is destroyed, the silo or the spawns, the rest of the base is just in debris. For this reason, the fun of a construction base fight needs to be in the approach and overcoming obstacles as you work towards a heavy guarded center. Unfortunately, some unfun mechanics make it difficult to really enjoy the core of the combat experience, which is vehicle and infantry play. With the update, the intention would be to convert non-skywall shields to two-way shields. Let me repeat that. Non-skywall shields to two-way shields, and revamp which structures have access to them and how they use them. Remove the Pain Spire, remove or revamp automated turrets, remove the EMP effect from skywalls, as well as increase the overall resilience of larger bases by increasing defensibility when modules are placed within them. Barrier to entry. There are very few moments that construction is introduced to a player, and almost all of them happen randomly. Adding a construction-based training mission and construction dailies will help introduce players to the system. We've also tossed around the idea of leveraging the campaign system to create a series of missions players can use to get acclimated to a certain concept of the game, construction included. Aside from that, reducing the overall unlock cost of construction schematics and expanding the base kit of items available to new players would be on the docket as well. Which I think is a really big thing, because before this came out, I was going to do a video about, before you buy into construction, what you need, because of how much of a cert dump that construction is. 4,000, 2,000, search for a single module. So this is nice to see if they make it easier to get into. Harvesting and the ant. We'll be taking a pass on the amount of cordium nodes on each map to ensure that there's enough of it to go around at prime time, as well as integrate the ant's max rank mineral radar and cordium capacities by default. So the ant will get the max rank for your radar and your cordium storage. Cordium nodes themselves are also going to change to make the experience less left click and wait, and add a bit more interactivity. We like to convert harvesting tools like the mandibles into a more traditional short-range weapon that can chip pieces of cordium nodes away. These pieces would then be driven over to collect, so you would have to drive over these blocks of cordium. The intention would be to make these nodes change shape as they fall apart, to allowing you to clearly see how much cordium is available from a distance. Mandibles would deal heavy damage to cordium, deal reasonable damage as an anti-construction vehicle, and light damage to everything else. So would that mean if, you have an enemy ant chipping away at this cordium, and you can just kind of drive over, ram them, and, pick up whatever cordium that has fallen down on the ground? Is if the cordium is on a hill, is the cordium nodes going to start to tumble and fall down the cliff, and you got to chase after these little chunks of cordium? I don't know yet. Additionally, the orbital mining drill is planned to make a comeback as a war asset that outfits can summon to the battlefield. The drill would churn up cordium that can then be collected to help supplement a base. Now this was the one I was most excited for, this quality of life here. There was a lot of good stuff in this little segment here. There's a lot of quality of life improvements that we've identified to improve already. Things like slowing down the default rotation rate on construction objects. Fantastic, because when you spin that thing, it just goes to the moon. Turning the colored building socket spheres into upward and downward arrows instead of those, instead of the balls. Showing the placement controls on screen while holding a construction object. Making it easier to read the ant's mining HUD, and surfacing cordium capacity in third person. Because the only way it seems like right now is if you have turbo on your ant and you could just see, how much that turbo bar is going up. Having an easier place to see and unlock construction objects, making it easier to unlock construction objects in general, showing the nearest friendly silo on your HUD while you're in an ant, showing allied silos on the map in general, showing which terminal types a construction base has access to on the redeploy screen. That is a big one. That is one that everyone has been asking for. I'm about to spawn at this base. It's in this cliffside. I don't know if there's a guy, building anything there. I don't know if this has just been given up on. I don't know if there's a vehicle pad, air terminal here. I don't know what I'm about to spawn into. So this would be a fantastic addition. Expanding buildable areas when possible, and the list goes on, he says. Odds and ends. More in the realm of cleanup and balance, the orbital strikes won't be able to two-click a base away anymore, as damage will be reduced against construction objects. Targeting devices for the flail, glaive, and orbital strikes will also all be converted to a laze system that requires the user to remain exposed with eyes on the target for a time before the strike is confirmed. This offers more counterplay than the fire and forget targeting dart was capable of. We've also discussed the ability to generate points towards Empire Strength through construction objects. If anyone remembers the hives from the old victory point systems in 2016, you'll probably also remember how abruptly and out of nowhere a continent would capture because of backline hives generating victory points. If that system worked more similar to Empire Strength nowadays, where points lead towards a alert firing instead of a map's closure, it may be a different situation. Now this is something I consider the weakest portion of the current proposed design though, as the rate of alerts firing on continents at the moment is pretty high, and includes population, triggered alerts. Whether or not we have too many or too few alerts seems to be an opinion that's oscillated back and forth over the years, and I'd be interested in your feedback about this portion of the game as well. While I'm describing a large multi-month initiative above, you'll still see plenty of bug cleanup, quality of life improvements, balance iterations, as well as monthly Prime gaming content and seasonal events in between major releases. Let me know what you think of this. Thanks folks, Rel. Now, like I said before, at the very top, Rel said, below you'll find an overview of our goals and plan design for a revamped construction system. This should be viewed as somewhat of a conversation starter. You can find a discussion thread, post your feedback here. Like I said, here, I'm going to post that link down in the description for you. A lot of stuff here. There is a lot of questions that people have. I've had some questions. This is a pretty big thing. So if there's something that you are completely hating on, let them know. If there's something that you really enjoy and love, let them know. People can complain all day that they don't know what's going on. Let them know what's going on. Let them know what you don't like, what is not going to work. Let them know your opinion. That's the whole reason that this is posted here. As he said, one of our goals for this year is to be more transparent with content we're excited about, which includes letting you know our plans further in advance, showing off more work in progress material. So they want to know what we think. So post on Reddit, tweet to Rel, let him know, what you like, what you don't like. A lot of this stuff, I want to see it, actually in play. So, I really enjoy new, fresh stuff, and this sounds like new, fresh stuff. So, really excited to see where things go with this. If you guys have any questions or comments, of course, always drop them in the comments below. We can get a discussion started here as well. But, like I said, check the description, let Rel know what you think, and that sort of stuff. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a great day, a great night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one.